Hey YouTube, coming at you with another Beyond the Hype, a series created to look at Pokemon with new moves, buff moves, to see if they are worth investing in. And we are looking at down the PvP Poke rankings, number 15 ranked Shadow METANG. So I've never used this Pokemon before, so this was kind of new to me. Looking at its stats, in itself, its stats are actually where you want to be in. With again, this ignore the 20% shadow bonus in for a second here, but lower defense 108, lower attack 108, high defense 145, good stamina 129. So in of itself, 2043 with a lower attack, higher defense and stamina. You like it. You like to see that. Typing, Steel, Psychic. And this is where it really depends where you land. I think Psychic is one of the worst typings in, I know, like besides Fire and Bug and all those. I think Psychic in GBL is one of the worst just because of how prevalent Ghost, Dark have been. So now add the Ghost Dark weakness, and you add a Fire Ground weakness because of the Steel typing. You now got 4 weaknesses, and 3 of them have been pretty meta for most of the time. And I just did like a Cancel Ninetales one. So, 4 weaknesses, kind of a lot. Resistances, double resist Psychic, Poison, single resist Steel, Rock, Normal, Ice, Grass, Flying, Fairy, and Dragon. So offset a lot of weaknesses. A lot of resistance. Wow, a lot of weaknesses against a lot of the main meta, but quite a lot of resistances. 10 resistances here, and this is where we start getting to the move. I don't need to talk about Fury Cutter because we have looked at it multiple times now. It is a fantastic Psywave clone. With the shadow damage, you get up to 3.6 damage per turn, 4 energy. Where I think this Pokemon really was dominant was with these Psyshocks, and you almost never need to throw the Gyro Ball unless Psyshock is like double resisted on Dark, pretty much. Psyshock, because it got buffed in previous seasons, it only takes 10 turns to get to. With the Shadow and with the Psychic typing where you get same type attack bonus, 100.8 damage, and it immediately reminds me of Drapion, because Drapion with that Shadow bonus as well, with the crunch, you're sitting right around 100ish. Yeah, 100.8. Look at that, right? You're sitting at 100.8, which is exactly what you're seeing here with this Pokemon. So now you have the typing, whether you want to give it a pro or con is up to you. Again, I think it's kind of a neutralish. Yes, it has a ton of resistances, but that's a lot of the main meta to be weak to. But now you have this Psywave clone with the 100.8 damage Psyshock that you can just spam, and when you spam this combo, Fury Cutter Psyshock was fantastic. Now, I don't want to just repeat myself as I did in the other videos. Fury Cutter is a bug type move. Bug is resisted by 7 typings. Again, the only sort of pro with Fury Cutter is, yes, you would like that damage to be neutral. And when Fury Cutter Psyshock damage is neutral, this thing can be very, very strong. If Fury Cutter is resisted or Psyshock is resisted, then this Pokemon becomes significantly less appealing in the sort of 15 ranked range because, again, Fury Cutter, although it's a fast charging move, that damage is not, 0.6 is not inconsequential. You would like that to register. But then also to have that 100 damage Psyshock be resisted on like Dark or something, and then you have to go to the 15 turn move, which is really your next one you can do. So 15, a lot longer to get to, and it is more damage, but it is less damage per energy and a little more to get to. So you can almost always just throw Psyshock. And I think the problem with Gyro Ball too is that at 115 damage, you are not taking anything out, which is fine. It's only 15 turns. I shouldn't make this like a 20 turn move. It's only 15 turns, but you're never going to one-shot anything. So if the Psyshock is resistant, you have to go Gyro Ball, you're probably still going to need a second move. So I had no idea what to pair with. Again, you're weak to Dark, Ghost, Fire, and Ground. So like a water Pokemon makes sense. I actually just used 2 of these 5. I used Mandibuzz and Diggersby. Mandibuzz made sense because you can beat most other Dark, and you'll beat Ghost, and you will beat Ground because you're a flyer. And I used Diggersby because of the bulk too, just to see how it would play out. So that's the team. Double weak to Ice in the back. I didn't even notice that when I put the team together. So has some weaknesses. Just be aware of that. If you're going to use a team, you can use one of these 2 and then just pair it with a different third if you would like. Okay, let's get into the actual battles. We have a Steel Bug, so resisting the Fury Cutter and resisting all our moves. Psyshock and Gyro Ball are both resisted on Steel. So I'm just staying in throwing because I still just want to see. I do this a lot just to see how it goes. Psyshock resisted enough that, yeah, it does not make sense to stay in. I probably should have got out sooner. Galarian Moltres on my Diggersby. Diggersby feels safe. I've used it as a safe swap a couple times now. Between the bug being weak to fire, you got your normal quick attack, Scorching Sandwich, spam. You have your bulk. And I feel like there's less fighters. I feel like between all the bug and Psyshock users and ghosts, I feel like there's less fighters. So it seems like Diggersby has some play here. Take Moltres down to the red. You know, that's okay by me. The fly obviously makes this much better. I come in Mandibuzz because the Sucker Punch is resisted as opposed to being super effective on the Psychic. So have to come in here just the resisted Sucker Punches. Get off the Aerials, take it out. They come straight back in with Fortress. They're going to have to get to the Rock Tomb because they've already showed Sand Tomb. And the other options like Earthquake, which is resisted. So land the Dark Pulse. And now I'm starting to read like what is in the back. I feel like Mandibuzz may have play what's in the back. And it is a Feraligatr. So I made the stupid mistake of doing the worst case scenario here. What I should do is take the resisted Shadow Claws on Mandibuzz and then just like take the charge move on METANG here. But what I did was take the super effective Claws on there to allow them to get to 2 Ice Beams to hit super effective against Mandibuzz. So that is the exact opposite of how you want to play that matchup out. So that was kind of just like an instant swap. Not working out for me here, obviously. So an Ice Beam from a Shadow Feraligatr going to be enough to take out Diggersby from this range. Don't let them have the best case scenario for both Pokemon. Azumarill, Fairy, resist Bug. But they get out and come into Morpeko, so I don't know what they were thinking. I think they saw maybe the Psychic and then instant swapped into the Dark, thinking Dark will beat Psychic. So I will shield up the Aura Wheel, going for the Guard Ball just because Psyshock is double resisted. Although the Fury Cutter is adding up so much, I feel like I could have just baited there. As you can see, I can just double shield and farm down. The Fury Cutter in a super effective matchup is going to do fantastic, especially from a Shadow Pokemon. So, and Morpeko is very glassy. So they come in with Clodsire, and here we go. Psyshock is super effective. It does 100 base damage with the Shadow, and they shield, but I know just on the spam. I'm honestly surprised I didn't throw there. I know. I was like, why didn't I throw there? The reason I didn't throw is Diggersby is weak to water and ice. So I really don't want Diggersby to see Azumarill. Diggersby is also ground, so it will resist the poison on Clodsire, and it has Scorching Sands, which is super effective against Clodsire's poison. So I think in the moment, what I was thinking was sacrifice Mandibuzz against the Azumarill, have that nice hard-hitting Psyshock to hopefully take out the rest here, and do that. And they kind of recognize what I was doing, so they end up catching a move here. So this ends up being a super effective Psyshock there. So all in all, do land the move in the ending, but that was my thought process, and they kind of were aware of what was happening. They get off the Earthquake, take me out. Mandibuzz is going to come in. I know they have the energy. I just want them to dump this because I want basically for them to be dry so I can just take Diggersby to get ahead on energy here. So getting to the Dark Pulse, this will land. Instant swap. I tried to instant swap. It just did not let me register, or else, yes, I would have instant swapped right away. The Zoroark comes in. Ice Beam is super effective, but is non-stab, and Diggersby is a tank. So it doesn't even get me to 50%. Get to the Scorching Sands here. This will register. Not enough to take out. They do get to one more Ice Beam. But again, non-stab, non-attack heavy versus a tank here. Take that second super effective Ice Beam. The 2 12 13 IVs coming in handy in this matchup. Take out the Clodsire with the Fire Punch. Okay, lead into Clodsire. So Fury Cutter resisted on the poison. They get out into Glycopod, and just because I'm just slightly ahead on energy, I know I'm going to get to the Psyshock first. So I'm just going to chip it or grab a shield, and this is why, if you've played, this is why I made the kind of Drapion comparison, because it's the same thing. When you are against a Drapion and you are the sort of mid-tier Pokemon, when you're a Glycopod, Feraligatr, where you can take moves but not super well. Like you'll probably live the move, but it'll put you pretty low. Suddenly these shadow stab Psyshocks and these shadow stab crunches really pack a punch. So Glycopod opting to shield a Psyshock because it would apply some pressure there. So with all that, I grabbed 2 shields for my opponent. Gonna just stay in this matchup and spam as much as I can on the Mandibuzz. Probably if they just try to commit to the aggressive farm down, we'll just eat it on Diggersby. They eventually have to throw, knowing that they're not going to get the aggressive farm down here. I'll still probably come eat the rest on Diggersby here, knowing that they're close to a second move. So this can be an Earthquake. May shield up 1. Yeah, I do shield up 1 knowing they have to go Earthquake. They don't have to, but baiting a Sludge Bomb would be like a really dumb move. So just knowing that they're going to go for the nuke, shielding up the Earthquake. Out comes the Glycopod. I know it has Aqua Jet. I made the mistake in the other one. I put in Aqua Tail, but and then they make a catch on Ferret there. So nice catch. Burning 2 shields. So what I'm going to do is I want to get a Scorching Sands off for sure. And then I don't want to take, and then I'm going to try to do what I should have done in the other matchup with the Feraligatr. But what I'm going to do here is take the neutral Sucker Punches on Diggersby instead of the super effective, but then catch the resisted Swift or Trailblaze on my Steel Pokemon. Because that makes way more sense on how to play that matchup out. Because this is all resisted. So resisted, they end up having Glycopod come in and snipe. And then I didn't know how much, I remember losing this one because I didn't know how much energy this had. And I didn't know how much energy they had on their Ferret. So I was just like, I'll just commit to the farm down. Obviously did not work there. Okay, Scizor, Steel Resist, right? And this is, you know, I sound like a broken record repeating this so many times, but 7 resistances is not inconsequential. There's only 18 typings. So we're at like what, 30 to 40% of the Pokemon typings will resist you. And then, you know, like Poison, we know is one that's in the meta a lot. Ghost, we know is one is in the meta a lot. Fairy is a decent amount now. Steel's starting to make a comeback. So all of a sudden, yes, great Psywave clone, but Psywave clone that is being resisted in the majority not majority, but a lot of matchups you are in, it suddenly doesn't make it as strong. Again, we'll have to see how the meta adjusts, but flying, Glygars are back, right? So flying. Getting to the Psyshock here, this will take out. And we'll have to just probably go 2 shield Mandibuzz. So I know every move is resisted, Night Slash and Trailblaze. But as you're going to see here, boosting your attack is exactly how you should play Shadow Scizor. I went over that in my episode the other day. I'm going to have to shield this because the bullet punch damage is really starting to add up here. So I will shield up a resisted move. They took me very low. Unfortunately for them, Corsola in the back into a loaded Mandibuzz. This is not a good time. Scizor, again, resisted. Maybe I try and catch. Nope, just going Psyshock. Again, it's 100 damage. I'm a shadow, they're a shadow. Still grab a shield. Yeah, grabbing a shield and then trying to catch on Mandibuzz. See if they're going to dump a move. And unfortunately, Mandibuzz, not a great safe swap. And you get hit with a Carbink. Yeah, so I'm in trouble. I got to just try and spam, burn out the switch clock. But this is not looking good. So they're just rock throwing me down. They're going to have Moonblast for Diggersby. I could come back into Metang where it's all resisted, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Force them to throw a resisted move. Power Gem resisted, but now they snipe with Scizor, which is Night Slash. So now my Diggersby is going to have to try and sweep this in the end game here, starting with this, but now they're just going to spam. So yeah, kind of a it was pretty much game over as soon as the Mandibuzz got met with a Carbink. Diggersby should be your safe swap. I should have safe swap. I don't know why I didn't it. Oh, I know why I didn't, because I didn't want to come in to take a super effective Trailblaze. I guess I should have come out immediately. Like, yeah, when you have the lead of when your Fury Cutter is resisted on a steal, the smart play is just come Diggersby right away where you can get to the Fire Punches in 10. Like, that is the easiest. They have a Swampert in the back, so that's going to take care of my Diggersby. So all sorts of trouble here. Come back in Carbink, but they're still loaded from before. They threw one power gem, but they had a ton of energy. So yeah, I'm going to go down here. So at the beginning of the season, you see so much. This is why I'll do a 1 weekend analysis, but I truly don't think we're going to truly understand the meta until like week 4 when this all comes back again. Carbink, Rock Throw user to beat all the bug. But not this bug, because they get out, I don't know why, into a Dusclops. And so I say I don't know why. And then what you're going to see here is me basically eventually saving Mandibuzz, if I remember this matchup correctly, because it kind of registers like, okay, you had a very good lead in Shadow Scizor into a Psychic Steel Pokemon, which doesn't really have any moves for you. Why are you not staying? So I think I like maybe take this out and then like instant swap. Yeah, kind of knowing they would have another answer back here. And it is Dusknoir, so Fairy Cutter resisted on the Ghost. But this thing is Shadow. I'm Shadow. These Psyshocks are coming so quick. Here comes the second one. This will grab the shield or take out. They do end up shielding and try to Astonish down. At this point, Mandibuzz is just a sacrificial lamb here. And then Diggersby will just come with a 2v1 shield advantage. They throw blindly, so this is just probably a Shadow Punch, which is double resisted. And now I have a 2v1 shield advantage with a Fire Punch. So that is game over. Morpeko. Okay, so I'll win this in the 2v1. These Fury Cutters are really adding up. Aura Wheel is a nuke. So I'm going to have to shield that up. Maybe I just go Psyshock here, because they are low enough that Psyshock would work here. And they give up Switch into Garchomp. And this is why, like, Garchomp is a spicy one for the Great League. Not very defensive heavy. So Dragon Tail is resisted. Psyshock able to chip it enough to Fury Cutter out. If they come into something in the back here, I'll probably instant swap, because I'm guessing it has an answer to this. Marowak. Maybe should have instant swap, but grabbing a shield here is not bad either. And coming Mandibuzz, where the Mud Slaps are resisted, but the Rock Slides will be super effective, but that's okay. It seems like at this point, Diggersby is my sort of win con, because Diggersby will deal with Morpeko, and it will deal with whatever's left of the Marowak after I chip it. So try to throw the Dark Pulse. Both moves are resisted, Dark Pulse or Aerial Ace, both resisted. I'll probably just come here. Yeah, try to commit to the farm down. Don't know if it's an Aura Wheel or Psychic Fang, so I'm just shielding a potential Aura Wheel because I know I'm at a move. And I'm going to grab this shield right back and take them to the zeros. And then I can just get Diggersby in with health advantage here against a Marowak, and they're not going to be able to do much already at 50% health. So get off the Scorching Sands. Basically takes out a couple more quick attacks down. Gligar. Flying. Resisted. So, you know, how many steals and flyers and fairies and stuff have we seen on the lead now? So grabbed one shield there, came in Diggersby just to try. I tried using this. I'm trying to use, even though this has way more bulk than Shadow Scizor and it plays way differently, I'm trying to use that same in these last matchups. I'm trying to use that same strategy where I am just kind of throwing hard hitting Psyshocks and trying to absorb on the Diggersby and Mandibuzz. They've already burnt a shield, so I'm going to burn a shield here because I want to. I don't think I can anywhere flip this matchup. Oh, timer's up. Just trying to get the Azumarill out of... Yeah, given how bad my backline does to Azumarill, it's not surprising that I'm just trying to get this out of here. So Psyshock does some chip. Every move is resisted, so... Unless it's a Hydro, but Ice Beam, Play Rough are resisted here. They throw a resisted Play Rough. Out comes the Gligar. Unfortunately gets a move off as I have a move, so that's unfortunate there. Where am I going to go? Going into the Mandibuzz, where they can only throw Aerial Ace. Dig resisted, so... If you're going to take one move, you might want it to be the Aerial Ace. Farming up a little bit more. Couple Snarls through there. Take that Gligar out. Dedenne in the back. Trying to just bait a Fire Punch to try and land a Scorching Sands. And this is this is another one where I probably could have won if I was paying attention. But I was not. Oh look, I can easily Fire Punch this out, but no, I'm going to get hit with the move and go down here. So end up losing this matchup too, because I'm not going to have any chance against Dedenne with a Mandibuzz. Okay, here we go. Finally, Ground Electric. Looks like Fury Cutter's neutral. Psyshock is neutral. So chip them to 50%. Even them getting a super effective Mud Bomb off here does not take me out. Thundershock, because I got some bulk, right? I've got good stats overall. And getting to the Psyshock, which will take out here. Yeah, unless they shield or I grab a shield. So, and they give up switch into Typhlosion. Met with the Diggersby the ground. So this is, and I'm having a tough time. I'll do the analysis obviously for Monday. I'm having a tough time figuring out how to place all these Pokemon. Because right now, I think on PvPoke rankings, I think that it's over. I think it's over ranking the bug fast move type users. In neutral situations, be it Fury Cutter or Bug Bite, these neutral type fast moves, these neutral type bug fast moves with these charge moves on these Pokemon are probably worth their upwards ranking. I think in any neutral to good situation, the Pokemon are in a good spot, like very correctly ranked. The problem is how do you rank when you know the meta is going to be a certain way and that bug will not have as much play? Because you can just even look at like the top, like look at the top 30 Pokemon right now. Clodsire, Poison, resists. Fortress, Steel, resists. Corviknight, Steel, resists. Dusclops, Ghost, resists. Golisopod, I think Water Bug is neutral. Corsola, resists. Samurott, neutral as the water. Gligar, resists with the ground. Jumpluff, neutral because of the half and half. Jellicent, resists. So I don't know how you offset what is fantastic in neutral situations, but with the meta and the top Pokemon the way that they're ranked, too much that resists. And there's all your fairies. Dedenne, Tinkaton, Galarian Weezing is a poison fairy. There's so much in the top 40 here. Toxapex, poison, resists. Annihilate, fighting ghost, double resists. Azumarill, fairy, resists. I don't know how you offset Scizor, Steel, Emolga, even though not many people use it. 43 is flying. I don't know how you offset the real strength of these moves with the rankings and how GBL and how dominant these other typings are and how prevalent they're going to be. So I'm still trying to figure that out. If anything, I'm just going to like explain what I just explained there on my Monday video, being like, here's what I think is overranked. because of this reason. Here's what I think is underranked because of this reason. Here's where I think the meta is going. And that's sort of the analysis I'll do on Monday. Anyways, that is it. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for the support. And I'll see you guys in the next one.